Right, I know this video is going to improve your game. This is some content that I've shared with my online clients. I'm going to be covering all aspects of the game. Make sure you subscribe. This playlist is going to cover everything from driving to how you should practice to short game. So make sure you hit that button and I'll speak to you later. Okay, morning, afternoon, evening, as ever. Obviously very grateful for you for being a subscriber. A little bit of extra content for you, and again, subscriber requested, so I'm very grateful because it gives me good ideas to film. And it's actually not raining at the moment, which is a very dear diary moment here in London. However, there are a lot of dark clouds around me, so I'm not sure how long that's going to last. A few rough shots. So I've got three different sort of lie options, which I think, let me show you first. So I'm 150 yards away. The green is down there. Some nice wild pack of deer just over there. So beautiful. They're just so random. It's so cool that they are here at Hampton Court. So I've got a golf ball which is not looking too bad. It's in the rough. There's not a lot of grass behind it. I've got a ball that's sort of sat down a little bit, not too bad. And then I've got that horror over there. So these are going to be three different approaches. The first thing you need to do when you're hitting a rough shot is assess the lie, because the lie will determine what club you're using, not the distance. So regardless of how far you've got to decide what sort of loft you need to get it out. Very simply put, the worse the lie, the more loft you need. So for the last one over here, which is really sat down, I have literally no other option apart from grabbing my sandwich and just hacking at it. And I definitely need to try to get as much loft on the golf club as possible. When it comes to the other two, then I can start looking at, they're not too bad. Can I get the club I want to hit for the distance through the long grass and not be affected so much? So I'm going to start it easy and then we'll work to a harder position. So this one here, there's nothing really restricting the club on the way through. So that means I'm not going to really lose much club head speed, which means I should be able to strike the golf ball at the correct speed for the distance that I'm trying to do it, which in theory means I should be able to hit the normal shot. So the first one should be okay. Now 150 for me is about an 8 iron. I have hit a few shots at the studio today because some of you have been sending me lessons. I've not hit a shot at all on the golf course. I'm just being careful of making sure that there's nobody coming because I'm technically on the 10th hole, so I've nipped out. So where I've got not much restriction, but I'm in the rough and it's a little bit wispy, etc. I can probably grip it a little bit harder because I don't want the wispy grass here to grab onto the club. But I feel I can use the club that is going to get the distance because it's not going to be restricted or impeded too much. So we'll give this a go. You won't be able to see where it goes. You'll guess from my reaction of how good or bad it was. Oh. It just missed left, bounced off, and now I've short-sided myself and it's going to be a bad chip. So that wasn't too bad. So you could see the strike was okay. It wasn't really affected by anything. It got through the grass. Now the second one is a little bit more grass around it. So now I've got to start looking at different options and different ways of playing this. Ideally, I want to get slightly steeper on the golf ball to reduce the grass that's going to get caught between club and golf ball. So to do that, I can definitely move the ball position a touch further back in my stance, and I could probably feel that I nearly get a little bit of weight on my lead side to help me get that steep angle of attack. As much as I want to grip it quite firmly, because I don't want the club to twist because the hosel will get caught in the grass and be wrapped over, I still want to maybe try to hinge my wrists a little bit more vertical to again give me that angle of attack, which is a little bit into a bit of a steeper angle of attack. Now the other thing that I can do just to guide against the club twisting is that I could either, two ways, I could either slightly fan the club open in my hands to start with, or aim a little bit right of my intended target, knowing that the club may get hooded and therefore wrapped around. So you will generally find in a rough shot, if the club's going to get caught, it's going to close, and therefore, in my case of the right-hander, it's going to go more left of target. So I'm going to grip down slightly for a bit more control, ball slightly back in my stance, and maybe a bit more pressure on my lead side, and feel that I'm firm with my approach, and I'll really try to keep speed through the shot. Now the club will slow down because of the grass, not something I need to do. I need to keep as much speed in as possible. And I would say rough shots is when it is so crucial that the lower half is shifting and transferring into the lead side. You do not want to start swinging just with the upper body, especially me. There's nothing of me. I don't have upper body strength. I need to use my bigger muscles to try to really cut through the grass as best I can. So well, let's try this one. So I'm probably going to aim between the bunker on the right and the flag. Grip it a little bit tighter. I've got a 7-iron now because 8-iron was the club of choice. I feel I'm going to lose a little bit of speed and therefore a little bit of distance, but I still feel a 7-iron can get through this grass. If I didn't think a 7-iron could do that, then I would have to go 8 or more lofted. I'm just making sure that nobody is playing. There's someone sitting on the tee, but I think they're just a person in the park. This is a royal park where they can just, people can just wander around. Oh, he's on the green, so I've got to be a bit quick. Here we go. So 7-iron, a little bit right, slightly back in the stance, a bit more hinge of the wrists, and speed as I accelerate. Commit to the shot. Oh, hello. So it was a lower flight because I was a steeper angle of attack. Didn't actually curve as much as I thought. It was actually quite a nice shot. Now, the last one's horrible. This is where I'm like, I've got 150 yards to go. I can't use the 150 yard club. I've got to be realistic. I've got to be sensible. I've got to take my medicine. If I try to hack an 8-iron through that, I'm probably going to end up anywhere. I'd rather just get it back into play and then go from there. Grip it tight, try to get a very steep angle of attack, try to follow through as best you can, but this is pretty gross. Ugh. So I'm back in play. I've got an opportunity to get up and down to save my par. Not that would I miss a fairway? Never. But the worse the lie, the more loft you need. Take the lie of the ball in account before you start doing the distance. If you can get the club on ball cleanly, then you might be able to use the club that you want. If there is going to be grass between the club and the ball, it may go a bit left or a bit closed on you at impact because the grass will get cut. You'll lose club head speed and you'll lose loft. So make sure you take those into considerations, and when need be, suck it up, take your medicine, and unfortunately just grab a sand wedge, hack it out of the rough, back in play, and make sure that in theory a bogey is going to be your worst score and you're not bringing doubles and triples and quadruples into the equation. Thank you very much as ever. Any other requests? I know I've got to play golf. I know that's my one. I've got to do a vlog of me playing on the golf course around here. Maybe next week, because apparently the weather is going to be better next week. Hope you're all well. Hope you all have a fantastic weekend. If you play any golf, anyone, make sure you get some videos over to me. More than happy to help you. And thank you very much for your time. Hey look, I thought I'd add some bits. So this was the third approach. It's probably left me 60 yards. So again, that keeps it nice and safe. I'm on the fairway, should be able to get up and at least a bogey. The first one that I hit, and I'm actually going to go to another hole and I'm going to show you some chips from the rough. So by the way, can I just say that was my well, you can't see it in the camera, that was my second shot. That was the 7-iron from the slightly duff grass. There is the benefit of having wild deer on a golf course. Unfortunately, they're all to rip it up. And my first one was left here. So here we go. What would you do from here? A little bit of a slope. If I got back down to it, I think there's someone coming, so I better not play it. Not an ideal situation. Bit of a slightly uphill, not much green to work with. Would you chip it? Would you putt it? Have to let me know. And my other one was pretty good. So, right, let me go and find another hole, and then let's do some chips from some rough. Right, here we go. We are now on the 11th, and I'm going to be really realistic to the game of golf. That's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. You're probably now a little bit too close. So the flag is just there. So we'll have a little chat first. We'll see if I can get myself. Here we go. Right. Again, 3 sort of ish lies. The grass is going straight into me, which is horrible. First thing I would say is you've got to be realistic with your expectations. I will not have much control of what I'm trying to achieve in terms of distance. I would look at this as a normal chip, and I can see that I want to try and fly it to the edge and then let it roll up. What I'm going to be doing is I've got my sand wedge because I like to utilize the bounce. I'm going to open up the club face slightly and get into the finesse wedge action. So my feet are slightly left, nice and close to it, but I'm going to move the ball back in my stance, because what I need to try to feel is that I'm definitely hinging like we want, rotating like we want, probably keeping a little bit of a firmer grip through strike, and making sure that we maintain speed through the shot. But if I get slightly back in my stance and slightly forward in my weight, so more pressure on my lead side, I can hopefully get a very steep angle of attack and it will pop out, hopefully. But I need to understand is that I will not slow the club down. I will try to be very positive on the way through that I go. All 3 are very similar, as in not great, grass growing the wrong direction. This could be interesting. So what I might do is I might move you for a bit of comedy value to the other side, so you can see my 3 attempts. So when it comes to the wedge, round the greens, definitely hinge to try to reduce the grass between grass and ball. Definitely have weight forward and ball a bit more back in the stance. And let's see if I get any of these 3 anywhere near the hole. Or even on the green would be a good start. I won't cheat, I won't move the ball. Not bad, not bad. Nah, sorry, mate. I was only been here a few minutes. Sorry, mate. I'll be honest. I'm quite happy with all 3. All 3 ended up on the green. So what you may have noticed me doing before each shot is taking a few practice swings, which I think are crucial, because I was trying to get a feel of what it was like with the club going through the grass, how restricted I was going to feel when that club entered that thick grass. So definitely want to rehearse what you are trying to achieve, and I felt quite happy with all those 3. So ball was back, weight was forward, the hinge was set very early, and I rotated and kept a firm grip to not allow the leading edge, the hosel to get wrapped around. Maintain speed through the shot. I would have lost speed because of the club entering the grass, but all in all, not too bad. Have a good day.